There is a country where you can buy a house for $19,000, not a down payment, not a deposit. $19,000 for the whole thing. Walls, roof, land, and the key in the door. And almost nobody wants it. That is not a distressed listing. That is not a scam photo on a sketchy website. In parts of rural Japan, that is simply the market. That is the number the whole town has settled on. Everybody knows the loud Japan, Tokyo, where there's less air than there are people per square meter. Osaka, neon, the trains so packed you can't lift your arms. But underneath that, Japan is a second one, running in the opposite direction. Japan now has more than 9 million empty homes. That's almost 14% of every house in the country. Even in Tokyo itself, 1 home in 10 sits empty. Nomura Research predicts that number could hit 30% by 2033. When people leave, the houses don't pack up. They just sit there getting cheaper until the price looks like a typo. One island went viral on the internet and emptied out anyway. One town declared bankruptcy first in modern Japanese history and is still trying to figure out how to disappear gracefully. One island was once the most densely populated place on the face of the earth, and today its population is officially 0. 10 towns and islands across Japan. What they were, what broke them, and what they cost right now. Subscribe if you're tired of Japan videos that only show you the postcard version. This is the Japan behind it. Let's get into it. Number 10. Ashio, Tochigi Prefecture. Most towns on this list died from having nothing left. Ashio died from having too much. In the early 1600s, copper was discovered in the mountains north of Tokyo. By the late 1800s, the Ashio copper mine had become one of the largest industrial operations in the country. The town built around it grew to nearly 39,000 people, crammed into a narrow mountain valley that today can't hold a tenth of that. But the money had a cost, and the river paid it first. Waste from copper smelting poured into the Watarase River for decades. In 1890, a catastrophic flood sent poisoned water across 1,600 hectares of farmland in 3 prefectures. It became Japan's first major industrial pollution disaster, the event that essentially started the country's environmental protest movement. In 1907, the miners rioted. The government sent in troops to put it down. The mine held on until 1973. When it finally closed, Ashio ran out of a reason to exist faster than it could adjust. And in 2006, the town lost something even the mine's closure hadn't taken: its own name on the map. Ashio was merged into the neighboring city of Nikko and stopped existing as its own municipality altogether. Today, a handful of elderly residents live among the shuttered mine buildings, a temple and hillsides, still bald from a century-old poisoning. The fortune came, the fortune left, and the town built around it didn't just empty out. It lost its own identity along with its people. Number 9. Aikawa, Sado Island, Niigata Prefecture. In the Edo period, gold turned a fishing settlement into one of the biggest boomtowns in Japan. Miners, merchants, shopkeepers, and entertainers flooded into Aikawa until the population hit somewhere between 50,000 and 100,000 people, financing the Tokugawa shogunate itself with the gold and silver pulled out of the mountain. The mine ran for nearly 4 centuries. In 1989, it finally closed for good. By 2000, the town's population had fallen to under 10,000. In 2004, Aikawa was absorbed into the newly formed city of Sado, along with 9 other towns on the island, another place that lost its own administrative name the same way its population had already been leaving for decades. Here's the twist. In July 2024, the Sado Island gold mines were finally added to the UNESCO World Heritage List. International recognition, decades in the making, arrived exactly at the moment there was almost nobody left to receive it. The listing was also complicated by its own dark history: the forced labor of Korean workers during the war, an issue that strained relations between Japan and South Korea right up to the inscription itself. The tunnels are still there. The 74-meter open-cut pit dug entirely by hand during the Edo period is still there, a scar on the mountainside you can walk into. What isn't there anymore is the town the gold was supposed to keep alive. Fame showed up 4 centuries late. Number 8. Shirakawa-go, Gifu Prefecture. In 1995, UNESCO listed the steep thatched farmhouses of Shirakawa-go as a World Heritage Site. It was supposed to be a rescue. It became something else entirely. Before the listing, the village was already vanishing so fast that in 1971, residents and scholars launched a preservation movement. Out of fear, the whole architectural style would disappear along with the people. The buildings were saved. The people, not quite as much. Today, around 500 to 1,600 people live in Shirakawa-go, depending on how you count the district. More than 2 million tourists visit every single year, a ratio in the thousands to 1. The village's single-lane road jams up on roughly 30 days a year. Residents have converted their own farmhouses into gift shops, cafes, and guest houses, because tourism is close to the only economy left that still works here. Here's the part that doesn't fit the postcard. Fame saved the architecture. It didn't save the community. Young people still leave, because living in a house that strangers photograph through the window every single day of the year turns out not to be the future anyone wants to stay for. Shirakawa-go might be the most photographed village in Japan. It's also, relative to its fame, one of the emptiest. Number 7. Teshima, Setouchi Inland Sea. Teshima's population dropped by nearly 2/3 between 1965 and 2015 cheers, from 2,815 people down to 867, half of who's left is elderly. For a while, this looked like a straightforward decline story like every other. Then it got worse before it got a rescue. In the 1980s and 90s, the island became the site of one of the largest illegal industrial waste dumping scandals in Japanese history. Nearly 60 hectares of toxic material, dumped illegally over the course of years, while local residents protested for over a decade before the government finally agreed to clean it up. And then, in 2010, art arrived. Teshima became one of the anchor islands of the Setouchi Triennale, an international art festival that transformed abandoned houses into installations and built the striking Teshima Art Museum, drawing hundreds of thousands of visitors every festival year. Quick pause here. If a toxic waste scandal turned modern art rescue mission is exactly the kind of Japan story you want more of, drop a comment telling me which of these places you'd actually consider buying into, and if you haven't subscribed yet, now's the moment. We go to the places the tourism boards don't put on the brochure. Back to the list. The festival brought money, headlines, and a wave of new visitors back to Teshima. What it didn't bring back was the population. The island is still down 2/3 from where it started, still half elderly, and the art that was supposed to be the town's second chance is, for now, mostly something people visit rather than something people live inside of. Number 6. Aoshima, Cat Island, Ehime Prefecture. Aoshima was once an ordinary sardine fishing island with close to 900 residents. Fishermen brought cats aboard to control the rats that were shredding their nets. The fishing industry faded. The young people left for the mainland. The cats stayed. Today, somewhere between 3 and 6 people live on Aoshima. The cats number around 80. At its peak, the ratio hit roughly 30 cats for every human being. And here's the part that should have changed everything. Photos of cats greeting the ferry went viral, and Aoshima started pulling in around 150,000 visitors a year on a ferry that carries 34 people per trip. Internet fame arrived. It didn't save the island, the residents, or even the cats. In 2018, veterinarians ran a mass spay and neuter program. No kitten has been born on Aoshima since. Both populations, human and feline, are quietly disappearing side by side. watched by an audience of 150,000 people a year, who mostly never see it happening. There's no school here, no hospital, no post office, no economy beyond the ferry ticket and the cat food donations mailed in from across the country. The people who remain say the day is coming when there will be no people left and no cats either. This might be the only place on the list that went properly viral. And it didn't buy the island a single extra decade. Number 5. Nagoro, the Valley of Dolls, Tokushima Prefecture. Deep in Japan's Iya Valley, one of its most remote mountain regions, sits a village where the dead and the departed outnumber the living roughly 10 to 1. Because someone replaced them with dolls. Tsukimi Ayano grew up in Nagoro when the population was over 300. She moved to Osaka, then came home in 2002 to care for her ailing father and found silence where a village used to be. She sewed a life-size scarecrow in her father's likeness to keep birds off her vegetable garden. Her neighbors, mistaking it for him, said good morning. She kept making them. Today there are more than 350 life-sized dolls scattered across Nagoro, sitting at the bus stop, working the fields, filling the desks of a school that closed because there was no one left to teach. No child has been born in the village in 20 years. A 2014 German documentary called Valley of Dolls made Nagoro famous around the world. The real population today is somewhere between 27 and 30 people. Global fame didn't move that number by a single person. The dolls still outnumber the living 10 to 1. Ayano once said she makes dolls of the dead so she can remember them alive and healthy. It might be the single most honest metaphor for what's happening across the Japanese countryside, condensed into one village. Number 4. Yubari, Hokkaido. If one place on this list tried absolutely everything to save itself, it's Yubari. In the 1960s, Yubari was the coal capital of Japan. 120,000 people, mines that powered the country's post-war recovery. When Japan switched to imported oil in the 1970s, the coal economy collapsed. Yubari didn't go quietly. It built a ski resort. It built a coal mining theme park. It launched an international film festival so distinctive that Quentin Tarantino named a Kill Bill character after the city. None of it was enough. In 2007, Yubari became the first municipality in modern Japan to formally declare bankruptcy. From 120,000 people at its peak, the population fell below 10,000, and today sits around 6,300. The average age is among the oldest in the world. By 2020, there were more people over 80 in Yubari than under 40. After the bankruptcy, city salaries were slashed below the national average to pay down the debt, which makes attracting anyone new almost impossible. So the current administration is trying something different, not repopulating, but deliberately shrinking, pulling remaining residents toward the city center and letting the emptied outskirts go. Yubari tried every single strategy a dying city is ever told to try. What it landed on in the end was learning how to let go gracefully. Number 3. Hashima Island, Gunkanjima, Nagasaki Prefecture. Some places on this list died over decades. Hashima died in a single season. A tiny island off the coast of Nagasaki, smaller than 1/10 of a square kilometer. Mitsubishi mined coal from directly beneath the seabed here, starting in the 1890s. By 1959, the island held 5,259 people, the highest population density ever recorded anywhere on Earth. Concrete high-rise apartment blocks were packed so tightly together, the island resembled a battleship from a distance, which is exactly where its nickname, Gunkanjima, comes from. During World War II, part of the workforce was Korean forced labor and prisoners of war, the darkest chapter in the island's history and one that still generates controversy today. When Japan shifted to oil, the mine stopped being profitable. Mitsubishi announced the closure in January 1974. By April, every single resident was gone. People took their belongings and left. The school desks, the hospital equipment, the movie theater seats, stayed exactly where they were. There was no long wind down. The population went from thousands to zero in about 3 months. The island stayed sealed off for 35 years. It reopened to tourism in 2009, and UNESCO listed it as a World Heritage Site in 2015. Today, boats carry tourists out to photograph the crumbling concrete ruins of what was once the most densely populated place that has ever existed, a place with an official population of 0. Number 2. Okutama, Tokyo, and the whole country underneath it. Here's the strange part of this entry. It's technically Tokyo. Okutama is a mountainous corner at the far western edge of the Tokyo metropolitan area, the same administrative region that holds 14 million people and where you can't find standing room on the subway at rush hour. Drive an hour and a half west of the city center though, and Tokyo turns into forest, river, and a district where abandoned houses now outnumber occupied ones. This isn't a fluke in one corner of the map. It's a preview of the national number. Japan has more than 9 million empty homes, nearly 14% of the entire national housing stock. 1 in 10 homes in the capital itself sits vacant. Researchers project that number could climb toward 30% of all Japanese housing within the next decade. Okutama isn't the exception to Japan's urban boom. It's proof the depopulation problem has already crossed the border of the biggest city on the planet, and almost nobody notices because, on the map, it still just says Tokyo. Number 1. Nanmoku, Gunma Prefecture. The last place on this list isn't a disaster story. Disasters would almost be easier to explain. They come with a date, a cause, someone to point a camera at. Nanmoku doesn't have any of that. It just has the longest, quietest disappearance on the entire list. In 1950, close to 11,000 people lived here, supported by silk, timber, and a starchy root called konjac. Every census since has told the same story in the same direction. 9,600, 7,700, 5,900, 4,400, 3,300, 2,400, 1,600. 10 years at a time, without a single decade of growth in between. Today, Nanmoku holds somewhere around 1,300 to 1,500 people, and it holds the title of Japan's oldest municipality. A median age over 68, 2/3 of the population 65 or older. There is no single culprit here. No mine closed. No factory went bankrupt. No fire burned it down. People just left, one family and one decade at a time, and it has not stopped. A 90-year-old resident still farming vegetables on the mountainside put it simply, there's a paved road up the hill now. There's just nobody left up there to use it. Local officials are trying to attract new, younger residents, but by their own projections at the current rate, the village could be effectively empty within 15 years if nothing changes. The land is the same land that fed 11,000 people 70 years ago. Most of the houses are still standing. The number just keeps falling, and it was already falling before your grandparents were born.